Now, I was working on an update for the Idaho 4. And to be perfectly honest, when this case first came across my news desk, I didn't know what to think about it, so I was going to hold off. But now, unfortunately, we have a true crime case that, well, ended quickly. I didn't even get a chance to do the first video on it before we got answers. I'm JBGunner, this is JBGunner TV. Today we're going to be talking about 7-year-old ATHENA STRAND. And the most heartbreaking story of the weekend, this sack of shit right here, decided just to see what it felt like. Decided to kidnap her and kill her. And more than likely, he did some other things. I'm JBGunner, let's do it.
Bring it back.
You know, one of the things about this line of work, now you guys know I do news. I've always done true crime, but I've mainly done news stories, and it incorporates true crime, but I'm a political and social commentator, things like that. This channel I've now decided to dedicate to true crime. The thing about it is, whether you're doing regular news, true crime, doesn't really matter. You see the evil that exists within mankind consistently, constantly. We can talk about the corruption of politics. We can talk about racial animosities. But most of all, when you get into these true crime stories, you get to see the true evil essence of mankind. And it's heartbreaking. Sometimes it leaves you speechless. You know, whether we're talking about Quentin Simon, it doesn't really matter what story we're talking about. Let's be honest, it leaves us all like a piece of us is missing. This story will do the same. This comes out of Texas. Before we get into this story, I do want to say first and foremost, thank you to everybody that supports this channel, all of my channels. The truth is, I couldn't do this each and every day as often as I do without you. I do want to say thank you to the Gun Squad. If you too find value in my content, feel free to hit the links down below. After being canceled, I'm kind of recovering, building things back up again. Guys, while you're down there, subscribe to all my other channels. If you get into that type of content, my political and stuff like that, gaming channel, things like that. But Odyssey, Rumble, Twitter, you guys want to make sure you stay in contact with me there because you never know when YouTube's going to take me down or I'm going to be suspended or canceled again. So please make sure you check us out there. This story's hard to do. I'm all pumped up. Excuse me, where's my damn picture? I'm all pumped up going into this because when it comes to this, I'm all pumped up prior to this because when it comes to this story, when it comes to today, sorry, I'm speechless actually. When it comes to today, I'm all pumped up because we were going to do the Kanye West, Alex Jones interview over on my live stream channel. And I was putting together the Idaho 4 video, and I didn't really have any major updates, so we were going to have a good, kind of lighthearted video. But when videos like this come up, when stories like this come up, it crushes your whole day. Let's just be honest. And I feel for a lot of you people out there that watch true crime stories on a regular. For me, it's a little bit easy to break away from this type of stuff and go rant about Joe Biden or shit like that, right? But when stories like this smack you in the face, sometimes you just look around to loved ones in your own life and you're like, man, I got to make sure I protect them. You see what I'm saying? I got to make sure shit like this doesn't happen to my family. And me as a disciplinarian, someone that runs a very tight ship, no cell phones, no social media for the children. Stories like this remind me that I'm right by doing it. I'm in the right, shall we say, right? All right, so let's go ahead and get into this. I'm sorry for ranting, but this type of thing is bothersome, right? So what is this story? FedEx driver is arrested in the kidnapping and killing of 7-year-old girl who went missing outside her home this week. Now, there's a lot to this story. Basically, little ATHENA right here, she was living with her father. Her mother did not live with her. So it's one of the few times that the courts actually gave the father custody of the kid, it seems like, right? And that's one of the rare things. But oddly enough, you know how I always say, when a child is usually killed or abused by a parent, it's the mom. And the family court system is kind of biased and rigged, right? In this very situation, I have a feeling that the stepmother, believe it or not, led to this child's death. And this is something that not a lot of these YouTubers are going to tell you. We're going to get to that here in just a second. But this young girl, basically she was at home with her stepmother. Her father, ironically, had went out of town on a deer hunting hunt. Obviously, the real mother, the bio mother, did not live there. Let me tell you right now, these people, her and the stepmother, got into an argument. In fact, I'm just going to show you real quick. Athena had argued with her stepmother shortly before she disappeared. For you guys that do not know, Athena disappeared. This sack of shit below me, he's the FedEx driver that kidnapped her. We'll get to the story in itself here in just a second. But I want to preface all this by talking about how she argued with her stepmother shortly before she disappeared. Now, let me ask you guys a question. Do you guys have 7-year-olds, 6-year-olds? How much real arguing can you do? Like when I got a 6-year-old that lives in my house, and there's a fearful respect that the 6-year-old has. And so if there's any goofiness, but there's typically not, it's a little girl and she's usually just playful and loving. But if there's any goofiness and I get started, I'm like, go to your room. She will, no problem. Yes, she'll say, yes, sir. And I believe that most 6 and 7-year-olds that's raised properly will do the exact same. So that's why I think there may be something up here. Athena had argued with her stepmother shortly before she disappeared. Texas Department of Safety police are also looking into criminality and kidnapping possibilities. Athena's disappearance sparked intense search efforts. About 200 citizens. We'll get to all that. We'll get to that. The search continued through Friday. Obviously, the child has been found. But that's not what I want to discuss here. The child has been found. Well, in fact, we'll get back to that. But I want to make it clear that the whole reason that this baby, in my opinion, went through all this is because for some reason there's no real discipline in that house. So the stepmother, for whatever reason, is arguing with the 7-year-old. The 7-year-old runs off, runs away, and then this happens. Let's go ahead, let's continue, okay? Let's continue. A driver working for the FedEx was arrested and charged Friday in the kidnapping and killing of a 7-year-old girl who had disappeared from her home's driveway in Texas earlier this week. So I want you to understand, the mom was cooking dinner, they get into an argument, she runs out. And for some reason, the stepmother doesn't follow her out. Bro, if this 6-year-old that I live with, and we got in an argument and she ran out the door, bro, you think I'm going to keep cooking dinner and shit? You think I'm not going to follow her out there? Get your little ass in the house. What type of parents are you? That you just let your kids in a huff run outside the house. I don't even let my damn broad in a huff run outside the house. You run outside the house, woman, you better keep your ass out there, never come back. Athena Strand's body was recovered Friday evening. Wise County Sheriff Lynn Atkins said at a news conference, "It hurts our hearts to know that the child's dead," because that's what the child is indeed. "It's one of the toughest investigations I've been involved with because it's a child. And anytime there's, by the way, she was reported missing Wednesday night. At any time there's a child that dies, it just hits you in your heart. Athena was reported missing and authorities launched a search for her across Wise County, located north of Fort Worth. Authorities believe the young girl was killed within an hour after her kidnapping from the family's driveway, which is about 200 yards from home. So I want you to understand. Mom and her gets in an argument. She leaves in a huff outside. The adult in the room doesn't take care of the situation. And so here comes FedEx guy to deliver the package, which has been confirmed. And he snatches up the kid. I'm going to say something that a lot of you guys may not agree with. And I want to put the big screen up here so you see it. Dad, conveniently, was off hunting. Mom, stepmom, has a thing, for some reason, she's had a tumultuous relationship with this little child. Let me ask you a question. And I'm just going to put this theory out there. Is it possible that mom has a relationship with said guy and was like, yeah, man, maybe he's the regular FedEx driver in that area, whatever the case. And mom was like, yeah, dad's gone, man. Dad's gone. And started complaining to him maybe on the phone. Who knows? I don't trust none of these hoes. Let's just be honest. I don't trust none of these hoes. Well, that's probably just reaching, right? But I find it ironic and odd that the one time dad goes, because remember, this is a Wednesday. On a Wednesday night, dad goes on a deer hunting trip. Now, the daughter, who the stepmom doesn't get along with, all of a sudden ends up kidnapped and dead? Ask yourself what the likelihood is of that. What a coincidence that actually is, right? Anyways, she would drive away, which is 200 yards from her home. Tanner Lynn Horner is being held in Wise County Jail on capital murder and aggravated kidnapping charges, according to its website. Bond was set at $1.5 million. Horner, identified by authorities as a contract driver for FedEx, was allegedly making a delivery to Athena's home at the time that she disappeared. Earlier Friday, police say they received a tip that helped investigators determine Horner abducted the child from her driveway. Authorities did not indicate a possible motive and said Horner did not know the family or the child, according to Aiken. How would he know? Athena's cause of death remains under investigation. Her body was transferred to the medical examiner's office Friday. In a statement to CNN, FedEx expressed its sympathies. Obviously, they're cooperating with the police. This entire arguing with the stepmom thing, for some reason, sticks out to me. Now, Athena's family said the girl was afraid of the dark, so that's how they knew. Obviously, she would have been home. I'm concerned, like I said, with the entire stepmother thing. I genuinely are. Let's take a look at the news.
This community does not like losing our children. And we could see it because of all the people who came out and helped us throughout this ordeal.
It's an update we hoped we wouldn't have to give you this morning, but after 2 days of searching, missing 7-year-old Athena Strand has been found dead. This is a difficult story to hear right now. So many of you may be thinking of your own children. Many community members joined the search for Athena, but this morning there's a FedEx driver in custody charged with abducting and killing that child. New this morning, FedEx shared this statement about the tragedy, saying, "Words cannot describe our shock and sorrow." The company offered condolences to the family and says it is cooperating fully with the investigation. Now, this all happened in the town of Paradise. That's in Wise County, west of Denton. Matt Howerton has been following this story from start to finish and has more on the tragic conclusion.
Yes, good morning to you. The search for Athena Strand officially over, and the conclusion is nothing short of heartbreaking after hundreds of volunteers and law enforcement searched for the 7-year-old girl tirelessly for more than 48 hours. And as of last night, Friday night, Athena's body, it has been found, killed, police say, by a FedEx driver who abducted her from her rural home.
What a scumbag.
In Paradise.
It hurts our hearts.
And by the way, before we go any further with this, let me explain this to you about this jackass, about this cocksucker right here, okay? There's so much going on, and I'm going to do a separate video on this, but just a little bit about him. He's a complete sack of shit, right? What I'm going to show you here is Tanner Horner was accused of being a rapist in 2019. There's a Facebook post out here. There's a Facebook post by someone who claims to be a victim of Tanner. He used to drive a Horner, but I want you to see this. Shay Marie. This woman right here. Friendly reminder that Tanner Horner is a rapist. This was in 2019. 2019. She has other Facebook posts, which we'll get to because I'm going to do a whole separate video on this. But people have been raising questions about her, about the situation for a long time. This was 8 years ago. He was 23, okay? He was 23, she was 16. He wanted to be her friend. She said no. So what he did was he got her drunk, and you guys know me, I'm not a Me Too guy, right? I don't typically listen to rape stories, but let's be honest, now that we see what kind of character he is, this Shay Marie has to be 100% right. Because let me explain this to you. See, in this situation, I would look at this and say, no, this is just I would call him a child molester, right? She just slept with someone and regretted it the next day. That would be my initial thoughts. And it would have been my thoughts this entire 8 years had I been following that story. However, now it's clear to me, and I bet you we're going to find out Athena was raped. I think it's safe to say this sack of shit, he didn't just do it to see what it felt like. No, he's been a sack of shit monster this entire time. And you guys know me. I give people the benefit of the doubt. I don't like the constant barrage on Leilani Simon. I don't like, you guys know, I pick and choose. Like Amanda in the fucking case with Debbie Collier. I think she's a sack of shit. I'm very picky about who I label that to. This guy's obviously a sack of shit monster. So keep that in mind, because I'll still be doing this video sometime soon coming up. So that's what you need to know about this guy we're taking a look at right now. This guy's a complete scumbag, and I'm telling you, I threw the theory out there about the stepmom. I hope I'm wrong. I hope I'm wrong.
To know that that child died. So much so that she is on her way now to the medical examiner's office, and there's a Texas Ranger in front of her, and there's a Texas Ranger behind her.
That was Sheriff Lane Aiken of Wise County, the emotion you can hear in his voice. He told us that law enforcement got a tip Friday regarding little Athena, that they knew a FedEx driver had been in the area of Athena's house in rural Paradise around the time she went missing, but the tip and investigative work leading them to 31-year-old Tanner Lynn Horner,
what a
the driver
scumbag.
of that FedEx
What a scumbag.
who was delivering a package to Athena's home. He was taken into custody
What a punk
on Friday
motherfucker.
and gave a confession to investigators.
You can tell by looking at his
through the
punk
sheriff,
ass.
telling them where he dumped Athena's body. It was found roughly 6 miles southeast of Boyd. Investigators believe she died within an hour of being abducted.
So he confessed. So he kept her for an hour or within that and then killed her. So you know what I meant? He did some diddling. Let's be honest here. This fucking scumbag, boy, when you're at, trust me, I've been to the pen 3 times. I'm telling you now, when this motherfucker gets to the pen, see, all of you people that's never been to the pen, y'all watch too many shows. You think it's rapes and all this. It's typically not. This guy, though, he's getting the broom handle. I guarantee you he's getting the broom handle. For the most part, people only take your cookies if you're asking for your cookies to get taken. You know what I'm saying? If you're limp-wristed, you know what I'm saying? But someone like this guy will not survive in there. I assure you. When people in the pen find out this dude probably raped and kidnapped, raped, and killed a 7-year-old, he will not, I'm telling you, he won't make it. He won't make it to next year. They're going to give him the death penalty in Texas. He won't make it through his trial. I don't think he'll make it out of the county unless they keep him separated. Just being dead honest.
An autopsy will be performed as well. The sheriff saying Athena's family is angry and in utter disbelief.
Pray for these folks so that they might be relieved of some of the pain. It's going to be a difficult few days, some sleepless nights, and they need our support.
The sheriff added that FedEx actually aided in the investigation on Friday that led to the arrest of Horner. He is now in the Wise County Jail, charged with capital murder and aggravated kidnapping. His bond has been
This motherfucker
set
admitted
at
it.
$1.5 million. In Wise County, I'm Matt Howerton.
And I'm glad he admitted it quick. I ain't gonna lie. That way we didn't have to go through a whole bunch of shit. So basically, this is basically, they could have called him transphobic. That doesn't make someone a murderer. You can tell by looking at the dude, he's a libtard, a little rocker and shit. Come on, man. Look at anyway, little hat cocked and all this goofy shit. Yeah, there ain't nothing good. The dude's a complete goober. He wrote, "Fuck everyone else" on his Instagram. Will be charged with capital murder. He said, "Fuck everyone else." So look, yeah. So in the end, it's gonna be fuck you, bro. This is my first video on this topic, and because there's not a whole lot to cover here. I'm sure there will be more. I I want you guys to pay attention to the connection here. Dad, ironically, just coincidentally, is just went on a hunting trip, and stepmom doesn't get along with the kid. I have a feeling there might be something more. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe this is just some fucking pervert loser that decided to do this. Either way, rest in peace to this youngster, this beautiful young girl, this sack of shit. He's gonna get he's gonna get his. He'll probably commit suicide way before it even comes anyway. Let's just be honest. He doesn't, his little lungs is too small for this type of smoke. He's not ready for what's about to happen to him. He's not ready to go to the Texas penal system. He's not ready for it. He's not ready for any of this. He's soft. And he's about to find out how soft he really is. Let me know in the comment section what you think about this. This is a horrible story for your Saturday, but I have to do it. This is your true crime video of the day. I'm still putting together some other videos. I'm gonna do the Delphi murder case, but I'm gonna do a whole big video on the Delphi murder case from beginning to end. It's taking a little bit of time because obviously it's a 5-year-old, 6-year-old case. Guys, I don't know what to say. Love you guys. Take care of your kids, man. Keep your kids close to you, all right? I'm JB This is JB Gunner TV. Let me know in the comment section what you think. If you guys like what I do here and you find value in my content, feel free to hit the links down below. Support the channel. I know I'm definitely going to keep the kids around me a lot tighter, which I do anyway. I just suggest everybody else do the same. There's real life monsters out there. A lot of you guys get mad at me. JB, you're racist, or JB, you're this, or JB, you're that. No, there's real life monsters out there. While you motherfuckers, a lot of you motherfuckers are hurting you all up in your feelings about my words, Kanye's words, Alex Jones's words. No, be up in arms about this sack of shit. Fuck people's words. Be focused on their actions. I gotta go do a live stream. Peace out.